there's three parts of this. Would you go to the dinner? I think you're crazy not to want to see up close the person who's this important in everybody's lives for the last decade.
You know, I completely understand that.
Two, are you going to lie about it? I'm sorry, I'm not a liar. I don't lie, so I told the truth. And then three, do I go back to doing what I always did? Yes, I did.
Yeah, but you could have told more truth or you could have told less truth.
I told a lot of truth. I told everything.
I would have enjoyed a little more brevity on that. But I absolutely understand that.
But that's just emotional. You were just triggered.
These days, people think the highest form of heroism is digging through someone's old MySpace page. Because apparently, nothing screams social justice louder than scrolling through a stranger's forgotten teenage posts from 2007. Somehow, a part of the internet decided that finding an old joke or a cringeworthy comment from years ago makes you brave. But let's be honest, that's not courage. That's obsession. It's not activism. It's just voyeurism with Wi-Fi. And that's exactly what Bill Maher is calling out. He's had enough of this cult-like fixation on purity, where people spend their free time searching for someone's digital mistakes just to destroy their lives. This time, he didn't hold back. His latest rant wasn't just sharp, it was brutal. Maher tore into the hypocrisy of these self-proclaimed moral guardians, the people who parade around as saints while quietly hiding their own mess deep in their timelines. You know the type, the ones who believe that scrolling through a podcast from 10 years ago counts as real journalism. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Let's rewind for a moment. Remember when kids were taught not to tattle? When one of the first lessons in school was that nobody likes a snitch. Well, that rule seems to have been deleted from the modern woke handbook, because now tattling is treated like a noble act. These days, any kind of success comes with a built-in scandal timer. Someone will always dig up an old tweet, and within days it's headline news. Remember the guy who was supposed to host Jeopardy? Yeah, his big moment was ruined when a group of self-righteous internet detectives, Maher jokingly called them Squeal Team 6, dug up an ancient podcast. He'd said something that offended nobody back then, but somehow, 10 years later, it became cancel-worthy.
It was its own country, and many people think it is.
Or if Canada was ours.
Yeah. You didn't see that coming, you got to admit that. Did you? With Trump?
Only, and I said, and I still do say to myself aloud every day, you know, whatever you don't expect, it's happening.
But you do, I hope, think I did the right thing to have dinner with him.
I think having dinner with him was absolutely. You're so smart. You go there and look. This is the president of the United States. Whether we like it or not doesn't matter. And
we have no power.
I think there's a lot of reasons. I was speculating that would be good for you to do.
And here's the crazy part. No one can even pinpoint when this became normal. When did we all agree that spending hours combing through someone's old tweets is some kind of moral duty? That's not justice, it's obsession. It's fake outrage pretending to be virtue. Let's face it, cancel culture stopped being about accountability a long time ago. Now it's about humiliation, control, and the cheap thrill of public shaming. Someone who dared to exist before 2015 is automatically guilty. And Maher says it exactly as it is, hypocrisy dressed up as moral superiority. These online witch hunters are usually guilty of the very things they attack others for. They've got skeletons too, bad jokes, dumb opinions, probably some embarrassing selfies they hope never resurface. Let's talk about Alexi McCammon for a second. She was a rising journalist, chosen as editor of Teen Vogue. Huge career moment, until it all vanished overnight because of a few harmless tweets she wrote as a teenager. Things like, now Googling how to not wake up with swollen Asian eyes, or ha, you're so gay.
When you talked about it on the show, that I would have preferred that I saw his mission or his will to have the dinner. I wish I would have seen it as less successful, because you're so smart on.
Well, it was less successful because I never stopped saying all the things I've always said about him. It would have been successful if he had somehow into support.
Of course, the mob pounced. They demanded her resignation, and Teen Vogue caved faster than a cheap lawn chair. The irony? The magazine's senior social media manager, Christine David, who helped pile on, was later caught for her own old tweets. Turns out she had used the N-word back in 2009. Goodbye, career. That's the exact hypocrisy Maher was talking about. The self-righteous moral detectives who love pointing fingers but never notice how many are aimed back at them. It's poetic, really, the purity police falling into their own trap. Maher believes this whole purity obsession might eventually destroy itself because it's starting to eat its own. He even mentioned Rachel Nichols, the ESPN reporter whose private phone call was leaked. She complained about her employer's diversity policies, not publicly but privately, and yet her career was over. Let that sink in.
Well, maybe.
So it wasn't successful.
Maybe more brevity. You know what? He treated me fine. That's that. And now on. Maybe more. Maybe I would have done some editing. But I absolutely listen.
No, you're just being
the only reason I wouldn't. I have not been invited. The only reason I would not accept an invitation is because I see no. It's a long flight. I see no.
Really, you'll meet with
I don't think
Castro and Hugo Chavez, but not the President of the United States?
Yeah, I saw good results come out of some of those things in terms of agendas that I had. I don't think that there's anything that I would... I just personally wouldn't trust anything that was said in the room.
A private phone call ended her career. Because apparently, in 2025, private doesn't mean private anymore. Everything is fair game if it earns clicks or moral points online. And Maher's right, that's terrifying. When people start recording conversations just to ruin someone, that's no longer accountability, that's surveillance. Society has turned into a massive tattletale contest where betrayal is considered virtuous. He nailed it. There's no bravery in being a rat. There's no courage in wrecking someone's life from behind a keyboard. You don't need guts to destroy a reputation, just Wi-Fi and resentment. These so-called digital heroes think they're fighting some noble fight. They're not. They're just bored people pretending outrage gives them purpose. Maher didn't just criticize them, he exposed them. He called them what they are, pathetic cowards hiding behind fake morality. Instead of creating something meaningful, they spend their days tearing others down. This isn't justice, it's a digital blood sport. And it's not just the far left doing it. The far right's playing the same game.
A matter of trusting it. It's a matter of seeing it, a matter of experiencing, a matter of knowing it.
Yeah, it's
more knowledge. It's like saying, I don't want this medical test because I don't want to know. I want to know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean,
I have some good friends that, are...
I said this many times within the piece when I did it, that it's up to, I'm just giving you the report. It's up to you to make the decision. Who do you think is the real guy? I'm telling you, there's a very different guy behind closed doors in a different setting. Now,
capable of performatively seeing that, yeah.
Well, my friends who believe in astrology would say he's a Gemini. Of course, there's two of them.
Maher pointed out that Republicans are now encouraging college students to record professors who express left-leaning ideas, because apparently, turning classrooms into surveillance zones is how they protect freedom. And he's right to call that out too. Cancel culture isn't political. It's bipartisan. Both sides are guilty of weaponizing outrage to silence people who think differently. Whether it's conservatives tattling on teachers or progressives digging up decade-old tweets, it's the same cowardice. Free speech was never meant to be comfortable. It's supposed to challenge us, even offend us sometimes. That's how people learn and grow. But today, everyone's walking on eggshells. Say the wrong thing, post the wrong meme, and your life can fall apart by Monday morning. Comedy's no different. It used to be the one place where everyone could laugh together. Now, even comedy clubs are filled with people waiting to get offended. Maher reminded everyone, crossing the line is practically a comedian's job. But these days, crossing the line can cost a career. Look at Kevin Hart. He lost his Oscar hosting gig over jokes he'd already apologized for years ago. That's not progress, that's regression.
For some reason, this particular president triggers me rather often.
Exactly. He makes people crazy, but he's not making me crazy. But, so you really wouldn't go?
No, I don't. I'm not saying I think I wouldn't, because, let me put it this way. What I know I would not do.
Especially, he's very...
I would not go, let's say, so for example, when we talk about this very different president of Uruguay, there were things that Uruguay had models of in development that could be very helpful to Haiti. And I went to see if we could get some training from them and so on and so forth, which we did. And whereas if I were, let's say, representing a cause célèbre, say it was Ukraine, say it was whatever it was, I would not fool myself that I was going to get any.
Now comedians play it safe. But safe comedy isn't funny. It's dull. And when laughter dies, culture dies too. Maher drew a great comparison between today's snitches and real whistleblowers. Think of Edward Snowden. He risked everything to expose illegal government surveillance. That's real courage. Now compare that to someone digging up an influencer's tweet from 2011 and posting, "Can you believe she said this?" That's not noble, that's pathetic. Maher summed it up perfectly: you're not a journalist. You're just a creepy little rat. And honestly, that might be the most accurate definition of cancel culture yet. Because here's the truth: nobody's perfect. Everyone said something dumb, made bad jokes, or done things they regret. That's part of being human. Growth isn't about deleting your past, it's about learning from it.
I know that I wouldn't. I know that I would have no influence.
Bad attitude. You don't know that. You don't know anything. He's a guy who frequently seems to go by what the last thing he heard was. I'll tell you this about Donald Trump, and you don't know it because you don't go to dinners. It's all about...
I didn't go to dinner with President Trump, that's true.
You should. It's all about
dinner.
Personal relationships.
I've not been invited.
Okay, I will get you an invite. He's a star fucker in a way. I bet you he would like to meet you. And you would have a...
Yeah, he'll see this show. He says, oh, but if I see him, they're going to call me a star
I don't
fucker.
think he watches the podcast. He does watch the show.
He's
a faithful viewer.
He's got people that do his thing. You know, Dan Bongino would be knocking on your door if you didn't go to dinner.
That's not why I did it. And it could work out the other way.
But the cancel mob doesn't believe in growth. They believe in punishment. They don't want apologies, they want destruction. And that's the danger. Once you start making destruction the goal, eventually you run out of enemies and start attacking your own. That's exactly what's happening now. The mob is eating itself. Every week, someone new gets cancelled, often the same people who led the last outrage campaign. Because when perfection is your only standard, no one survives. Maher's not defending bad behavior, he's defending sanity. He's standing up for nuance, free thought, and the idea that people can change without being crucified for their past. He's defending the right to make mistakes and move forward. And both sides should agree on that. Because when we start punishing people for being human, when private words become public executions, we lose something much deeper than reputations. That we lose honesty. We lose truth. And when that's gone, free speech isn't anymore. It's permission speech, approved by the mob.
And that's one way to look at it. Other people will say, well, you know, the real guy is the guy you met, and he's playing this clown on TV. And other people will say the reverse. You know, it seems harder to do the reverse. I mean, can you really pretend to be sane? You can pretend to be insane. I think it's harder to pretend to be sane, to be measured, and like all the things I said, which is just what happened.
So yeah, Maher's message hit hard. He reminded everyone that real bravery isn't canceling someone. Real bravery is standing up for truth, even when it's unpopular. Cancel culture loves pretending it's fighting evil, but all it's really doing is hunting imperfect people and calling it justice. Maher sees right through it and calls it what it is: shameful, small-minded, and completely un-American. Because what's more American than free expression? And what's more human than forgiveness? The moment we start erasing people for their past, we stop being a society and start being a mob. Maybe it's time we stop rewarding the snitches and start respecting the thinkers. Maybe it's time to remember that context, intent, and time actually matter. Because if this cancel culture madness keeps going, none of us will survive it. Eventually, someone will dig up your old posts or private messages and use them against you. That's how it ends, with everyone pointing fingers and no one left standing. And when that happens, there'll be nobody left to laugh. So yes, Bill Maher lit up the internet again. And this time, it wasn't just the woke left he called out. It was all of us. Because no matter your politics, left, right, or center, if you've ever joined in on an online dogpile, maybe it's time to ask, what are we really doing here? Are we fixing society, or just feeding our anger? Maher's answer is clear, and he's right. Cancel culture isn't noble. It's lazy outrage disguised as progress. So, if you agree even a little, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. Have you seen someone get cancelled unfairly? Maybe it even happened to you. Let's start having real conversations again. Until then, stay skeptical, stay sane, and maybe stay off MySpace.